Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. As the mother gives the medicine painfully to the child, Swamiji has been giving the talks painfully to all. I am happy at least somebody is fooled painfully. We have seen two aspects. One is religion and the second is the God. Religion basically deals with all that is happening with body identification. Because unless we are identified with the body, this gross world does not exist. So after we get identified with the body, how do we deal with this world? This was the topic which religion takes care of. Then the second topic was, what is God? God is recognized as some higher power to whom we seek support in dealing with the world. And that we take care of at the level of the mind. So we have got now two personalities. One personality when we get identified with the body. Second personality when we get identified with the mind and its modifications. Living at these two identification levels is called as samsara. And such a person who lives at these two levels is called as a samsari. Do you know the meaning of a samsari? One young boy, well educated and well settled in life, suddenly one illogical virus enters in his system. You know, there are three types of viruses. One is biological, second is logical. Biological virus H1N1, like the American visa. The computer virus is a logical virus. Logical fallacy you introduce and the program goes in the loop. And the third is the illogical virus. That illogical virus enters this young, healthy, happy man and he starts thinking, what a life without a wife. And because he is Indian, he goes and catches hold of some sari. From that day onwards, he is called as a samsara. These are all technical terms. See, friends. Therefore, if these two things are the basic errors, first error is living as the body, not living through the body. This first error has to be corrected. Now, when this error is not corrected, what happens? We are simultaneously two generations in one. With reference to our parents, we are children. With reference to our children, we are parents. See? As children, we are never miserable. See? And as parents, we are never happy. What is the reason? The reason is, parents, we accept them as they are. Nobody thinks, I wish my mom was Marilyn Monroe. Nobody thinks. See? Because there is no choice. So when you don't give choice to yourself, you are happy. See? But when it comes to children, we have so many expectations. Child should be like this, like that. And then we are suffering incessantly. because of the children. See? And when this relationship, child and parents happens, that time it is the body identification. When there is no body identification as in deep sleep, there we are neither mother nor father. And therefore we are happy. See, friends. So how do we get out of this commotion which we have created out of wrong understanding? Here we come to the third step called as spiritual life. See, we talk about solid spirituality, not liquid spirituality. Once I was in Goa and there was a 3-day conference of these Rotarians. And you know, in Rotary Club there is no human being. On our president, past president, and then governor and past president and future president, all the governors and presidents come together. And I was the only human being. And then they called me for 3 days. I said, I can't come. I'll come only on the last day. So 2 days, these Rotarians who came to Goa, see, Goa is a place where liquid spirituality is abundantly freely available. So they had a very high level of spiritual evolution. And the third day, when I started my lecture, between 10 to 11 was my talk. Then 11 to 12, some get together, and then departure. So after my talk was over, one person asked a question, stood up, and he was in that mode wherein a person walks straight on a zigzag road. He was in that mode. And then he stood up and said, last night we had also spirit, we were spiritual. Now you are talking again about spirituality. What is the difference? So when he said like this, the person who was conducting, he said, Swamiji, don't worry about him. I said, you don't worry, relax. Then I said, yes, last night you had liquid spirituality, today we will have solid spirituality. Liquid spirituality leaves a hang-up. Next day, you move in the world in the Shambhavi Mudra. Yatra yatra mano yati tatra dara sabhaya. Because there is a hang-up. And when you have solid spirituality, you don't hang up, you stand up. So how can we stand happily in this world? Only by correcting the error of judgment. One simple technique I'll tell you. Then you have entered the path of spirituality. Children are born through us. They are not born to us. Change this understanding about your relations. Then you will start living through the body and no more live as the body. But this we don't want to correct. And then we go to the God. Oh Lord, why other people's children, they come in the merit, and why my son has failed 4 times? That is why our gods don't speak. And then we are the victims. Maharaji, please tell, why this happens. My son failed 4 times and my neighbor's son got in merit class. Why? And Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, Trivedi Sangam. Then I tell them, look here, Amma, don't worry. All the great people have a different autobiography. See? The other day I received a very beautiful email. In that it is said, the first class students at the national level, they take to engineering, medicine, etc. The second class students, they go for arts and commerce. The third class students, they get into politics. The fourth class failures, they become gundas. And the fifth class, they are the one which vote to elect such gundas. Therefore, don't worry, it's good, your son is not studying. No, but why it happens? Again, the same question. We are obsessed with questions. We don't want answers. See? Then I said, okay, listen. You cannot get mango to the imli ka ped. See? Can you get mangoes hanging on to the terminate plant or tree? You cannot. In the same manner, you cannot have intelligent children, As is the seed, so is the fruit. He said, Swamiji, what to talk, I never understand. I said, that's thank God. See? So the first error, if it is corrected, we are walking spiritual path. First error is body identification. So what will be spirituality? Spirituality will be attainment of body disidentification, thereafter functioning through the body and no more living as the body. That is spirituality. Instead of this, we go for the yoga class and twisting the body becomes yoga. Twisting body is not yoga. Sitting in one asana for a long time cannot be yoga. Otherwise, all buffaloes will be great yogis. They don't move. See? And they don't sit in your Padmasana. They sit in the Mahishasana. That is not. Yoga, according to Bhagavan Krishna and Patanjali, is same. Bhagavan Krishna says, Tam vidyat dukkha sanyoga viyogam yoga sanjitam sa nishchena yuktamyaha yogaha anirvinna chetasa. When the miseries come in our life and we refuse to be miserable, that ability to refuse to be miserable with commitment and confidence, that is called as yoga. See? Then we are practicing yoga. Patanjali also says the same thing. Sthira sukham asanam. When your bliss is steady, see, our bliss is like, the touch me not plant. Something good happens, jumping out of the skin. Something doesn't happen, buried under the soil. No. So yoga means attainment of freedom from body identification. For this purpose, two techniques are told in Yoga Shastra. Number one, asana. When you sit in one posture and do not move at all, but at the same time you are not putting efforts in your posture. Sthira sukham asanam prayatna shaitilya ananta sabhapattibhyam. Prayatna shaitilya. Sit in such a manner that no effort is involved in maintaining your posture. Like the tripod. Tripod is not carrying any tension on any leg. But when we sit for meditation, after some time this leg goes here, then this leg goes here, then we pull them together and then we spread them. What is the reason? Because the center of gravity is displaced and our balance goes. So when your asana is perfected, then you can distinctly, clearly walk out of your body. And when you walk out of your body, the mind drops the shape and the form of the body. And thereafter, the experience is formless, bodiless existence. Maintain it as long as you can to begin with. Slowly, by the sheer practice, we will be able to recognize this knack. Like swimming is a knack. Riding a bicycle is a knack. Can anybody tell how the balance is learned? You can't. You just try, and one day it suddenly happens. And once the balance strikes, thereafter, even if you want to fall, you cannot fall because balance is perfect. Exactly the same way, spiritual life is this balance. When you are riding on the bicycle, balance perfect. When you are working through the body, balance is perfect. But when you are working as the body, then pain here, pain there, pain everywhere. See, friends. Therefore, spirituality means freedom from body identification, number one. Then the second practice which is spoken of in yoga is pranayama. Pranayama is also meant for separation of the body and the mind. See, when you practice pranayama, what happens is all the unwanted gaseous toxins from the body are rejected, thrown out, which are responsible for acting as a stimulus to the mind. We don't want thoughts, but the thoughts come. Now, what is the stimulus which throws the thoughts out? It is these toxins which are the metabolic byproducts. They are responsible for making the mind uncomfortable. So when pranayama is practiced, it is again for Patanjali doesn't talk about this thing, but Yajnavalkya and Vasishtha Samhita they talk about it. This is called as Nadi Shodhanam, inner purification. When this inner purification happens, the mind is able to slowly separate from the body and function independent of the body. See, this phone is in my hand. Where is the cover? The phone is in my hand, and when we go to the airports here and there, we have to fill in those dumb cards, arrival card or departure card. You don't want to leave it anywhere, lest you forget. So we hold it. And in between, we keep the fountain pen also. And then try to write. See how funny our own handwriting comes. Because our hold on this object influences the performance of our own hand, is it not? Be attentive. In the same manner, when the mind is identified with the body, the mind will think in relation to the body. See? But when the mind is not identified with the body, as in dream and deep sleep, the mind does not think in relation to the body. One man took heavy lunch, as I am doing every day. People call it, Swamiji, you are going for Jnana Yajna. I said, I never conduct Jnana Yajna. Mine is Food Festival of Melbourne. 3 times a day. That is my sadhana. Before coming here, I was given a lovely dosha so that I should go to sleep. The signs of a good dosha, South Indian, Tamilian good dosha, that dosha is such that while eating you feel sleepy. Highly fermented, See? So, heavy food and then that fellow goes to sleep. And in the sleep, he has a dream. I am moving in the desert and there is no food and I am struggling for the food. This dream he gets after overfeeding. See, friends, therefore, when the mind is not identified with the body, the mind will not think in relation to the body. What is samsara? Samsara is thinking in relation to I and mine. Mai arumora tora tai maya. See? I extended is mine. So this I carries the burden of mine. And this burden is immediately dropped the moment you are disidentified from your body. See, the other day I told you this story. In one of my incarnations, I was a girl. And as a girl, I had to get married. And when I got married, as the Indian tradition goes, get married to a boy and get the in-laws free. And whenever you get anything free, it is always problematic. So all in-laws are problematic. And when I was suffering from the burden of my in-laws, I was contemplating, being a Vedanti. And I started thinking how to get rid of these in-laws. And after some time, suddenly the Vedanta knowledge became clear. These two have come in my life because of this man whom I consider as husband. He is my husband because I am identified with the body. So I am not the body. He cannot be my husband. They cannot be my in-laws. Ha ha! Then I told, look here. We are husband and wife only theoretically. The moment I separate from my husband, what sadhana I have to do to get rid of my in-laws? You don't have to have a separate divorce for the in-laws also. It is included in the cost. It's a good quotation. In the same manner, the moment we understand this principle, body disidentification will take care of all the problems of your life. Now the question is, how do we keep ourselves identified with the body? Only one technique. We keep on talking with reference to the past. See? When we were children, who is interested? Old people have no future. They have only past. See? If you want to make any old person happy, ask them about their past and don't listen. चाबी भर के छोड़ दो. See? You know, the best toys I like is a chimpanzee, which has got that symbol in the hand. Chabi bhar do. The same way oldies, you ask them, Dadaji, when you were children, during your time, what were the games like? Now the children are not listening, but Dadaji is inspired. Paid picture. Who cares? Be attentive. Age belongs to the body. Age doesn't belong to us. We never experience that we are growing. Nobody experiences this. When somebody for the first time calls us uncle, auntie, we get the first shock of our life. The second shock we get when we are addressed as Dadaji, Dadiji. The second shock we get. See? Because it is the body which is going through the modification. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara. We don't grow. But when we keep on all the time bringing our past in the present, we refuse to disidentify from the body. See? Therefore, spiritual life is, when you start leading more and more in the present, don't talk about your past, don't think about your past, then you will not be interested in anybody else's past. See? If we are interested in our past, then we are interested in somebody else's past. The question is, how can we live without reference to past? Yes, we can. We all have some time or the other in our life touched fire, either the lamp or something. Therefore, we got burned as a child. So when we got burnt because of the fire, do we have likes or dislikes for the fire? No. Because we have learned fire burns. Meaning, when we learn from our experience, we do not create an impression on our mind in the form of likes and dislikes. See, wisdom is light. Likes and dislikes are heavy. So how do we deal with the fire? We were burned first time, then we know fire burns. Thereafter, we are not afraid of fire, but we know now how to utilize this burning ability of the fire in such a manner that it becomes an asset for us, not a liability. Now apply this principle in life. See? There was a young Rajasthani boy got married. This story I told in Melbourne last time. Got married. And then his friends told that, look here friend, right from day one, keep your wife underfoot. Otherwise she will torture you throughout life. Then what is to be done? Don't talk her. Honey, sticking, chewing gum, don't do that. Only shout at her. Pani le aao, nahi to. Get water, otherwise. Like that. Don't talk loving language. It is okay in the novels, not in practice. He said, okay. He got the Maha Mantra from his friends. He started living like that. Every time. Where is the food? Otherwise. And she will run, wait, and give food. Once, twice, thrice. 1 month, 2 months, 6 months. And one day, she was busy doing something, her hands were soiled with something. And he got up, going for bath. I am going to take bath. Where is the hot water? Otherwise. So she said, otherwise what? I will take cold water bath. When you get frightened, the world will frighten you. See, how simple it is. Lead your life in such a manner. Don't entertain your past memories. You know, in this today's digital world, the maximum suffering I get because of these albums which the people send me. See? And they say, Swamiji, you can watch the whole album. We are tired of one Al-Qaeda, now you album. And what is there to see? See? Swamiji, how do you like? I said, yes, the print was good. The color combination was fine. No? This big album they gave and they said, Swamiji, see that. Now what is there to explain? We'll explain. अब कबूतर को क्या explain करना है? Therefore, don't bring your past, remain more and more in the present. You will have nothing to talk. Be attentive. Spiritual practice means stop talking to yourself. Mind functions two ways. When we talk to ourselves, we are in the future. When we talk to others, we are in the past. Think. Now when you stop talking to yourself, the future is blocked. You are at peace. What do we talk about the future? We project problems and then start to analyze and answer them. Problems are not there. See, non-existing problems are solved when we are talking to ourselves. Keep on talking. Stop that. You will be at peace. Second thing, before you talk to anybody on any issue, ask a question. Is it necessary to talk? These are the two Maha Mantras for spiritual life. I am not giving a mala in your hand and a huge long mantra. Chant Gayatri Mantra, you will get Brahma Tej. Om Bhurvusvaha Tassavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Do 16 malas per day. And then you start. Om Bhurvo Swaha Tassaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhurvo Swaha Tassaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. All gods are confused. अरे यार किसका चल रहा है तुम्हारे? And then ultimately our mantra becomes only bur 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 bur. उड़ गया. I am not giving you that spiritual practice. Try this. Whatever God you may believe or don't believe, God doesn't need our belief. The belief is for our benefit, not for God's benefit. See, only practice these two things. Stop talking to yourself, and before you talk to anybody, just ask one question. Is it necessary for me to poke my nose? Then you will see it will unnecessarily get cut. Push it back. Automatically you will enter a silence zone. See? Thought-free mind is consciousness. Chittam chicca vijaniya takara rahitam yada takaro vishayadhyasaha japa rago yathamanau. Chitta, the mind, is chit, the consciousness. When takara rahitam yada, when objectivity is dropped from the mind, whenever any thought arises in the mind, the thought is necessarily about the not self. There cannot be thought about the self. See, this is spiritual life. And when you just start practicing it, longer and longer period of time, it is something like, a fruit getting matured on the tree, and when the fruit is fully matured, it will effortlessly separate from the tree. See? And keeping this in view, thereafter, celebrate life, relax, enjoy. BHEL, there is one, big organization in India, Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited, BHEL. Actually it is Be Happy, Enjoy Life. BHEL, Be Happy, Enjoy Life. Why? Because nobody works there. It's a government job. Therefore, keep these two things in mind and then relax. And when you are thus no more disturbed by the world, then the inquiry will kindle in your life. Kastvam koham kutamayataha kame janani kome tataha iti paribhavaya sarvamasaram vishvam tyaktva swapna vicharam bhaj govindam bhaj govindam. See the difference. See? Pure mind is defined by Bhagavan Shankaracharya in one of his commentaries. Pure mind means that mind in which the inquiry about the self naturally kindles. See? Now why that inquiry doesn't kindle in our life? Because we are so preoccupied with the world. See? And what is this world? Vishwam tyaktva sapna vicharam. But we are so expert, we even think about the dream. Drop that dream, man. No, but I had a very bad dream. I don't know what I should do. Forget about it. No, I can't forget. It was a terrible dream, One big cobra came and he was on my chest and I was so frightened. And he slowly came here and took out the jugular vein and started sucking my blood. And I was frightened and I got out of the sleep. Now what will happen to cobra? The cobra will die. So please tell me, what should I do? Forget. No, I can't forget. Then remember something more painful. So what should I do? Do puja. Rudram Chamakam. 21 times every day. After 21 days, prepare a 1 kilogram gold cobra. And then do the puja of Lord Shiva, and that cobra don't give to the Panditji, give it to me. Then what will happen? Your black cobra pains will disappear and a yellow cobra pain will disappear. It is something like the painkillers. A painkiller doesn't cure you, it only kills you without pain. As we do not give value and importance to the dream, and we really don't give, only we are not aware of this thing. Spiritual life is living in awareness and learning from your own experiences. What we do normally is the religion and upasana of the God. That is not spiritual life. Spiritual life is religion, karmani chitta shuddhartham. If religion is practiced for the purification of the mind, then you are a religious person. Aikagryatham upasanam. If you are doing the upasana so that your mind is freely available to you whenever you want, for whatever length of time, without any effort, then your upasana is successful. If these two things don't happen, you are neither religious nor a devotee. See, friends, these two things must happen. And then such a mind which is at peace, which is available any time, in that mind enquiry kindles. And an inquiry will naturally lead us to find out what could be our essential nature. Then we will come to know we have two aspects. One is essential nature, second is acquired nature. Essential nature is that which cannot be changed. Like sweetness is the essential nature of sugar, you can't change. But the acquired nature is either it could be crystals or cubes or powder or syrup, it could be anything. That can be changed. But the essential nature cannot be changed. If you remove the sweetness from the sugar, it will be urea, it will not be sugar. And therefore, we too also have these two natures. One is essential nature, which is by default divine. Satyam jnanam anantam brahma yo veda nihitam guhayam. He who comes to discover this, Satyam, that which is never denied. Jnanam, which doesn't require any authentication by anyone. Anandam, Anantam, which is one without a second. Jo Veda Nihidam Guhayam. He who is able to discover this as one's essential nature. Now, right now, first, Satyam. Do we have or can we have the experience of our absence? We cannot. That eternal presence is uncreated. All other things have come and gone. Childhood has come and gone. Teenage has come and gone. Middle age has come and gone. Old age has come and it will take us away. See, become more and more aware. Satyam, which supports all the changes but never undergoes any change. that we are. Dhyanam. We don't require any means of knowledge to recognize our own presence. Whether we have our faculties functional or not. Whether eyes are open, whether mind is functional, whether intellect is working, nothing is required to be ourselves. Dhyanam. And Anantam. If I is not there, nothing can exist. So this I is independent of everything. Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam. He who comes to discover this as his essential nature. Now after this is studied in the scriptures, then what happens? For example, if we have come to know our essential nature, what happens? The teacher says, thereafter, we will never carry any burden of any desire. So shnute sarvan kaman sa. All the desires stand fulfilled simultaneously. No more desire. Desire-free experience is God realization. This is spiritual life. Oh, that is why India is not progressing. Because you people teach there should not be desire. Without desire, nothing can happen. Nobody will work if there is no desire. One youngster like any one of you asked me this question. I said, hey, you are that means listening something. Therefore, you are asking a question. Then I said, okay, let us analyze. We all have lived to fulfill our desires till date. And we know what we have achieved in life. And see the great masters who lived in this world not for fulfilling their desires, and see the output of work. Swami Vivekananda was actively functional hardly for a dozen of years. In those 12-15 years, the amount of reported complete work of Vivekananda is so much that our lifetime is not enough to read. Was he functioning under the burden of desires? See, friends. Then what is the way to lead life? This is the message Bhagavan takes in Bhagavad Gita and the spiritual practice. Klaibyam masmagama partha na etatvai upapadyate kshudram hruday daurvalyam tyaktvodishta parantapa. Don't yield to lack of inspiration. Spiritual life is an inspired existence. It is not we are living because we cannot die. Marne ke liye bhi taqat nahi. No. Every moment is lived with inspiration. And a person who is inspired, he alone can motivate others. A person who is inspired, he is never short of new approach to the same problem. A person who is inspired, he never repeats the same thing like a tape recorder. See? About this, I will give an example. This happened in Detroit, USA, Michigan. It was a Vishwa Hindu Parishad forum. 3 of us were called. There was one Sushil Muni, he is no more now. I am still there. Second was me. And there was one Professor Rao from Oxford. I don't know where is he now. And 3 were sitting and like this beautiful hall, packed, all the Indian Hindus came together. And then the talk started. We will request Swamiji to start. I said, no, Muniji is eldest among all of us. He should be given the first respect and honor to speak. So he spoke for 1 hour. After he finished, he said, now I request Swamiji to take over this thought further. So I continued further for 1 hour. Then I said, now this is the relay race. I hand over this talk to Dr. Rao. Now Dr. Rao came prepared with so many books and then the dog-eared pages and bookmarks, and with that all came to the podium and came like this. And then he saw these two Babajis were firing extempore, no preparation. He also started. And then after 10 minutes he said, I am extremely sorry, I don't know what I am talking. Let me read my talk. And forum was Vishwa Hindu Parishad. And the talk was Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam Parame Vyomanna. It doesn't matter who you are. Come to realize that you are Brahman. The forum is different. See. Therefore, when you are not obsessed with anything, then you are inspired. An inspired person is able to give exactly what is required at a given period of time. All the great masters, they don't prepare their answers. When the devotees, when the seekers ask them, they don't prepare it, they just tell. And that is required for them. There was a great Mahatma. He was sitting comfortably and his chela was sitting next to him. One person came, Namaskar, Chamatkar, and said, Sir, unless we work hard, nothing is possible, is it not? Success is possible only for those who work hard, is it not? He said, yes, my dear, you are perfectly right. He went there. Second person came. Sir, we may work hard, but unless there is a God's grace, success is not possible, is it not? He said, yes, beta, you are perfectly right. He also. The third one came. He said, Maharaj, Khuda meherban to gadha pehlwan. If there is God's grace, anything can happen. You don't have to do anything, is it not? He said, yes, beta, you go. Now this Chelaji was disturbed. He closed the door, stop, I am confused. And then he asked his Guru, Maharaj, what is this? The first person also you told he is right, second person also you told he is right, third also you told he is right. What is the truth? The truth is, why did you listen? I was not talking to you. See, many times we don't understand this thing. See, general satsang is for everyone. But when there is one-to-one interaction, it is exclusively meant. It is not like, generally you can give the vitamins to everybody. But can you give, everybody has come, give dysentery medicine to everybody. No, you cannot. See, therefore, the real achievement in life is possible when we are spontaneous. Spontaneity is the signature of God realization. See? Because one is no more functioning as an individual. The Vyakti has disappeared and the divine Abhivyakti starts manifesting. That is spirituality. So when this starts happening, we slowly get out of the body identification. And for getting out of the body identification, one or two simple techniques I will tell you. One thing I told you regarding don't talk to yourself, and before you talk to others, ask twice, is it necessary to talk? Now second technique. When you are sitting before the Lord, never sit for meditation. Don't do meditation. I have seen all those so-called meditation fellows silently suffering, both Guru and Shishya. They will sit, first of all switch off the lights. Outside there is a watchman. Meditation in progress. Don't allow anybody, somebody comes late. Why? Our sleep will be disturbed. And then switch off all the lights. And then both the Guru and the Shishya, they go to sleep. And when the lights are open, everybody is awakened from sleep. Don't do that. On the contrary, sit in the lap of the Lord and like a child, Child doesn't do anything, he relax. At the most, put your thumb in your mouth. In the same manner, sit in the lap of the Lord, relax. And whatever comes by His will. Sometimes Sri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare. Sometimes Om Trambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Vandana Mrityor Mokshiyamamritata. Relax. When a child is in the lap of the mother, he has nowhere to go and nothing to do. It is just a time pass. In the same manner, sit in the lap of the Lord. Don't struggle, don't struggle. And when you are in the school, after some time that coolness will go because of the old habit of thinking. Then start playing meditation. How to play meditation? First step, attain body disidentification. Okay. What is other than the body? The space. So let us play space. So when you start playing space, then if space is other than the body, what does it mean? Now work on this. Bodies are many, space is one. So there is none other than this reality. Second thing, body has shape and form, space has no shape and no form. Third, body is born, grows, becomes old and dies. The space is not born, nor grows, nor dies. Space supports all objects, but is neither enriched by the presence of many objects, nor does it become poor and all objects disappear. When you practice this on a regular basis, the net result will be worldly things and beings will stop bothering us. Because all the worldly things and beings, they are meaningful only if we take ourselves to be body. This is the first step. In this, there is no question to be asked, you do it or you don't do it. Nothing to ask. Then the second step. The second game we play, meditation. Now we play the game that what it is like the mental space, chitta akash. Like the gross space supports the gross world, the mental space supports the thought world. Thoughts are many, mind is one. Thoughts come and go, mind doesn't come and go. Thoughts are good and bad, mind is neither good nor bad. So none of the thought will thereafter stop bothering, start being cool. No thought can bother us. When the thoughts stop bothering us, then we enter the third stage, the conscious space. Mattaha smriti jnanam apohanancha. The waking, dream, deep sleep and samadhi, they come and go. But the Chidakash remains untouched by any one of them. This journey from the gross space to the conscious space is spiritual practice. This is the journey. In the journey, we don't begin from anywhere. In the journey, we don't reach anywhere. This is something like the balance that we have when we ride a bicycle. Can you explain that balance? It is extremely simple. There is no paraphernalia of any kind. Thereafter, life is lived. There is no body left behind. Because somebody is born after gross body identification. The first error, mithyatma, the body notion that I am. The second error, after the body identification, then the second generation of I's are born. Husband, wife, brother, sister, mother, father, in-law, outlaw. They are all born after the body identification. And who is miserable? These secondary fellows. Recognize this principle. With this understanding, then play the game of life. Don't become serious about anything. As we listen to the satsang, so you listen to the worldly things. How many times we are told, you are Satchidananda Brahman. No, I am not. Okay, you are a Beyakuf. No, don't call me Beyakuf. I get hurt when you call me Beyakuf. Why do you get hurt? How do you also know? Others know that I know. You also know. Self-evident. Thereafter, life is a great celebration. See, friends, our life is a calibration. See, I have done so much japa, but nothing happened, Swamiji. To whom? To God? To the society? I am constantly, this is my 24th mala. Means what? 23 malas were worn out. Not only that, my finger has become short. And yet God is not showing Himself. He is fed up of you. Constantly eating his head. Ram, 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 Ram. See, spiritual life is a journey which is not spatio-temporal journey. It is from the virtual reality to the actual reality. From what we think we are to what we in reality are is the journey that is called as spiritual life. Try it and be happy. If you are not, wait for the next year. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरु